After renovating over 100 kitchens, I can honestly tell you that not all the kitchen cabinets can be simply painted. Like the before kitchen in this hole, the doors were misaligned, the drawers were crooked, and the dark olive color just made the space feel so tight. If we were to paint the cabinets, we would have wasted thousands of dollars. Today, I'm going to break down the 5 essential lessons I've learned from renovating over 100 kitchens. And I'm sure it's going to help you with designing and renovating your dream kitchen. That's going to be a combination of form and function and also add value to your home. If you're new to the channel, I'm Melissa Covington, a real estate investor and coach in the San Francisco Bay Area. I've been flipping houses for almost 9 years and I've done over 100 home renovations. On this channel, I share home renovation tips and tricks and house flip before and after. If that interests you, make sure you give me a follow. Lesson number 1 is recognizing when the cabinets can be painted and when it cannot. This is so important because kitchen cabinets take up the most real estate in the kitchen. And if you misjudge the salvageability of the cabinets, you essentially can ruin the whole kitchen. I made this mistake early on in my house flipping career. I had success on a project where we simply painted the cabinets. So we saved money and made a good profit. So I thought, hey, if I could just simply paint the cabinets without replacing them, why do I spend all that money on new cabinets? And I learned this lesson on a different project where the cabinets were much older. So we spent all the money painting the cabinets just to find out that all the doors and drawers misalignment, all the doors that were not closing, those issues were not fixed by paint at all. The paint looked new, but the cabinets still looked old, so it didn't work at all. So whether a coat of paint is your solution largely depends on the age and condition of your cabinets. If your cabinets are over 40 years old, like we have on this kitchen, there's really no amount of paint that can salvage them. So you would have to bite the bullet like we did here and invest in new cabinets. These slip shaker cabinets look very pretty and is an instant upgrade to a kitchen. Lesson number 2, decide on your kitchen renovation scope of work based on your budget. It sounds obvious, but in reality, it's not that easy to follow this rule because a lot of times when people have limited budget, they just feel like they can't do an entire kitchen renovation because a renovation that's full on, like this one we did, new cabinets, new countertops, new appliances, new flooring, it costs a lot of money. It cost about $25,000. Not a lot of people have this much budget when they go into a kitchen renovation, but it doesn't mean that they cannot renovate part of the kitchen or some aspects of the kitchen. So I'm going to share with you what you can do if you have limited budget, like hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars, and you can still make your kitchen more functional and prettier. If you only have a few $100s to spare, then painting the kitchen cabinets is probably the first choice. But like we mentioned earlier, if your cabinets are too old and not good candidates for painting, then you can spend your hundreds of dollars on something else. For example, you can choose to replace one or multiple pieces of your appliances. Kitchen appliances are so important because you use them daily to prep foods, and if they are too old, then it really affects your kitchen experience and make your kitchen look very old and dated. So some kitchen appliances are not that expensive, like this microwave hood that's a combo appliance. It's a microwave, but also doubles as a bed hood. It's only about $300 to $500 to get a new one. And then the sliding range that doubles as an oven is also less than $1,000. So these appliances are pretty easy to replace. And then if you already have newer appliances and you don't need to replace them, you can also consider replacing like some hardware in kitchen, like the sink faucet, the sink, or even the drawer pulls, and those can also change the look and give your kitchen a nice upgrade. If you have a few $1,000s to allocate to the renovation, that's when you can consider replacing the kitchen cabinets or replacing the countertops or both. And these would really make a big impact because that's the majority of your kitchen, and it really give the kitchen an updated look and make your life easier when you're in the kitchen. And another thing you can consider doing is to improve the lighting in the kitchen, like adding recessed lights. Usually it costs, if you are doing it DIY, it's very cheap. But if you are hiring a professional to install recessed lights, it costs about $200-300 each. And then if you're adding some pendant lights that can give your kitchen more dimension, and if you're adding end cabinet lights that can really kind of give the kitchen a different ambiance, I think these are great options to make your kitchen look more sophisticated. The third lesson is material sourcing. You really want to choose the materials that fit the price point of your home. Because if you have an entry-level home, you want to use materials that fit the price point of the home so that you are not splurging on high-end materials, high-end appliances that's not going to necessarily give you the return. But of course, it's your own home and you can decide however materials you want to use. I'm just talking about it from an investment perspective. If you care about the return on your kitchen renovation investment, then you probably want to follow this rule so that you use the appropriate materials for the price point of the home. And vice versa, if your home is a high-end home, you really don't want to use materials that look and feel too cheap that can devalue the home. So to give you an example, this is an entry-level home, even though it's at $1.6 million when we sell it. But in the Bay Area, it's where the first-time home buyers would purchase a home of this price point. So in here, we chose prefabricated cabinets. These sling shaker cabinets look very sleek, but they are pre-made, so they are always in stock, and they also are very cost effective. So I like them a lot. The home kitchen probably costs only about $5,000, all the cabinets together. And then these appliances are also, I call them mid-range appliances. They are of the GE brand. So there's also Whirlpool, and Samsung sometimes is considered a little higher, but still mid-range appliances. So these are the materials that would fit an entry-level home. And including the countertops here, we use prefabricated quartz countertops. This is very good material. It's very sturdy, very easy to maintain, but because it's prefabricated, it saves us a lot of money on the fabrication, on the installation. So the whole kitchen countertops probably only cost about $3,000 for us to purchase and install. So these are the choices that we made for this entry-level home that fits perfectly with this price point. But if I were to renovate a higher-end home, I would probably not choose GE appliances. I would probably use something like Miele or Wolf or Thermador. So those appliances would elevate the style and the price point of the home. And from the cabinet standpoint, we would probably use something that's more white oak finish. And for countertops, you would consider marble or quartzite, those more natural stone and more expensive materials. The fourth lesson is to consider the kitchen triangle. If you've never renovated a kitchen before, you may not know what a kitchen triangle is. It's this distance between the three kitchen essentials: the stove, the sink, and the fridge. So these are very important kitchen appliances and fixtures, and that's where people tend to move from and to multiple times a day when they're in the kitchen. So it's really important for the distance between these three pieces to not be too far away. So imagine if you're in a kitchen where the distance between the fridge and the stove to be quite a ways to get to, then every time you get something from the fridge, it would be a big distance to get to the stove where you need to put the things into the pot or pans. And that would not be a good kitchen experience, and it would really make it difficult for you to cook a meal. It's the same thing with the sink and the fridge and the stove. So if the distance is not optimal, then it would be a frustration for a lot of people when they're in the kitchen. So that's why it's very important for the triangle to be efficient, and the distance between any of the two pieces out of the three is not too long or too difficult to get to. So that's what we always consider when we design a kitchen renovation. And I think if you consider that, it's really going to help your kitchen to be more functional. Lesson number 5 is never to overlook the kitchen finishes. These are the things that are minor, that are usually inexpensive, but they can make a big difference and they can make or break a kitchen. For example, the kitchen cabinet covers. So there are a lot of choices out there. You can choose all white or all black or wood toned. And these are all good options. But when it comes to your own kitchen, if you have a big space, if your home has accent colors that you use in other rooms, or the style of the home calls for a certain color of cabinets, then you definitely want to pay attention to that. And on my kitchens, I tend to like to use two-toned cabinets because that gives it some contrast and it adds visual interest. So like here we have white uppers and almost charcoal black lowers that just give it a little more style. And then it also allowed us to use different color drawer pulls and cabinet pulls. So on the upper white cabinets, we have these black drawer pulls, and then on the darker cabinets, we have the gold drawer pulls. It also adds some sophistication. So I think these are very inexpensive things that you can consider to elevate the style. Another pro tip is to customize the size of the drawer pulls based on the drawers. It sounds so intuitive and so simple, but most people don't really pay attention to it. I didn't learn about it until more recently myself. So the trick here is, if you look at these drawers compared to the handles we use on these cabinets, the holes are much bigger, much wider. So because the sizes of the drawer posts and the cabinet posts we use are different throughout the kitchen on different size doors and drawers, so it gives the kitchen a more custom feel, so it feels more high-end. This kitchen renovation was one of the main reasons why we were able to make an over 300,000 profit on this house flip. And all the lessons I've learned over the years were so essential. If you are doing a kitchen renovation and feel overwhelmed, make sure you drop me a comment below and let me know what stage you're at. I'd love to help. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like and subscribe to the channel so you get to see more content like this. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. YouTube thinks you're gonna want to watch this video next. Tap to watch it. Go!